Stepped up, won balls, didn't get a goal right away, but kept finding different ways to create chances, and finally make a really good pass through and a great finish by Carlos. So that part I thought was really good. Overall, the second half, I don't think we were as sharp. Certainly had a lot of other chances, and then when we get a little sloppy with decision making in plays, then we also allow them to come into the game and get some chances. So for me, that part wasn't as good as it needs to be. Still a good win. The foul on Carlos at the end of the game is a dirty tackle. Should be a red card. So, there's no attempt to do anything other than try to hurt him. Carlos has been amazing. He never complains. Last week on the play in Columbus after the game, he says, "You know what? I was lucky I didn't break my leg." And then today he comes in and says the same thing. So, you can't have it that every week a guy who never complains on the field, constantly trying to take the ball, create things. You can't have it that he comes in 2 weeks in a row saying, "I'm lucky I didn't get off the field with a broken leg." So that was what the end of the game was about. You can watch that replay 1,000 times. The angle that player takes and where he's going right for him, and that's one that needs to be reviewed.
Sorry, Bob, didn't mean to cut you off. Someone handed me a microphone. So, speaking of that, Carlos had 8 shots. He could have had 4 goals. It worked a couple times. Given that he's facing all these physical challenges, have you seen a player be in a zone like this before? He's got 13 goals in 13 games, and he's getting roughed up all the time.
Look, he's been playing great. So, his mentality for every game, his willingness to take the ball, try to create, get chances, score goals, still in right moments, he's unselfish. I also think he's been a big part of us trying to work as a team to win the ball back. So we still play our best when we lose the ball and the attackers are quick to get after the other team. So, for him, he set the standard, and I think everybody else sees it. And look, we also, as a team, we feel good about the kind of football we try to play. And the idea is to just keep seeing if we can get better.
Bob,
Yep.
Congratulations on the win. How do you practice when a team just drops the defenders back and all the passing lanes are distorted? How does the team?
Yeah, we do some things in training where there's a low block, and the spaces are tight, and we've got to be a little sharper because the windows are small and they close fast. So, the ability to still find ways to attack when teams have numbers behind the ball. That's a hard part of football. There's no doubt. I've watched Barcelona and Man City and Liverpool and Real Madrid and Bayern Munich and all sorts of big teams on certain days where the other team's in a low block and they're trying, and it's not so easy to create. But we know that's part of the game. And what I like is still that there's different ideas, so that as we try to figure out what's going to be the right way, it's not just playing out wide and hitting crosses. It's got to be a mix of different ideas, and then you got to just keep working to be sharper and execute. So part of the game and something that we just have to keep trying to improve.
Bob, Jim with the Fantasy Sports Cave. Can you talk about Latif's performance today and what it would mean if you would lose a player like that?
So why do you ask the second part of this? Have you been listening to my friend over here? Okay, so look, Latif's a really good player, and he's a great guy, okay? And for those of you that write stories based upon Instagram and Twitter and everything else, which I find amazing, like it's impossible to think that like somewhere in journalism school they told any of you guys that, look, spend a lot of time on Twitter and Instagram and forget about the rest of this shit and just write stories based upon whatever fucking hogwash you can pick up on Instagram, okay? So, on a personal issue, there's some things there. It has nothing to do with whether he's gonna be here, okay? If you had scrolled down, you would have read that, okay? So, yes, any of our good players, if we lose them, but then what do? We keep trying to make the other guys better, okay? We were very happy with Laurent last year, okay? But then at a certain point, he had an opportunity to leave, and other guys got opportunities. And so, yeah, I mean, in the midfield right now, understanding between Mark and Edward and Latif has been awesome. Of late, I think in training we see how other guys are pushing them. Andre, Lee, Peter Lee Vassell. So, you know, it's tough decisions. But let's face it, we've also, in a lot of games in the middle of the field, controlled things. So that group of three has done an excellent job.
Bob, considering the late tackle on Carlos and the fact that you guys play again on Sunday, how chippy could the first 15, 20 minutes be, and do you expect the refs to call tight?
Look, whether we play 4 days apart, okay, whether it's home, whether it's away, whether we're winning, they're winning, the job of a referee is to see what's going on the field, recognize what certain players look like. When there are plays anywhere on the field where a player creates an advantage and the defending player in that situation, doesn't have to be a defender, but the closest guy, doesn't even make a play on the ball and just tries to grab, hold, tackle, whatever, when there's no real intent to play, then we should have referees that can see that. Give out yellow cards when it's appropriate, give out red cards when it's appropriate. That's the job. And, you know, there are times where you hear this bit about protecting attacking players. Look, I don't buy that. I think the idea is that you protect all the players. If the defender's skillful and makes a little move to go by the attacker and now is getting ready to make a pass and the attacker doesn't even try to play the ball and grabs the defender from behind, well, yeah, give him a card too. So, look, it just has to be that we can see what's going on the field and deal with it, and that's that. So that's the challenge for the man in the middle on Sunday, and he's got AR on both sides, and he's got a VAR somewhere else, and you know, look, there's 4 of them, so I think they can do it.
Any thought about Bruce Arena coming back to MLS?
As a friend, I'm happy for him.
Bob,
He still loves the coach, and so I'm happy for him.
Bob, going back to Sunday, in terms of play on the pitch, what do you anticipate the dynamic of the match is going to be now? Dallas is going to be at home, and taking into consideration possible changes.
The idea for us is to go there and try to play the same kind of football we always play, and try to make it hard for them and create chances and score goals and play football. We'll assess everything tomorrow a little bit and figure out where guys are physically, make those decisions. But you know, sometimes how a game plays out, yeah, you wait and see. But from our standpoint, it's not perfect every game, but the idea that we have home and away is always the same. We don't change that part. We tried to take initiative in the game. We tried to play the right passes. We try to be aggressive with the way we go forward. We try to win the ball back as a group and see if we can create more chances. You know, they had a couple chances tonight. So when you look at a score sheet and it says no shots on goal, that's a little misleading because they just missed the target a few times. So there's things there that we can do better. And look, we also missed the target. We shoot over too much.
Bob, you didn't reach 30 points last year until end of June. You're already on 30 points. Despite the ambitions of this team and yourself in terms of driving them forward, has it surpassed expectations to play in the field and the results?
No, I think we like what we're doing. You know, we have plenty of yardsticks when we look around the world of what really top football is like. And so we enjoy the idea that we want to continue to grow and evolve. And you know, we try to create training sessions that are challenging and make guys better. You know, we coach guys. You know, they don't always like what they hear, but we're pretty honest. We show video. We keep trying to see if the football part can get better. And you know, there's something beautiful about the idea that you get a chance every time out to try to do something football-wise. That's good, that's sharp, that's interesting, that's exciting, that's got energy, that's got ideas, that's got good understanding, skill, creativity. You know, look, it's a package of a million things, and the idea is to see how often we step on the field, we can make those things happen, and when we don't, we're pissed at ourselves. You know, and you know, we go back in training and keep trying. So, you know, it would be dumb to all of a sudden start thinking about how many points or this or that or anything else. It's, we got a game on Sunday, and you know, see if we can do some really good things.